Every night, whether we remember them or not, we all dream. Some dreams are beautiful. Some are bizarre. Some stay with us for years. And some quietly change the way we see ourselves. But what if dreams aren't random at all? Could they be revealing something about our fears, our beliefs, our relationships, or even the direction our lives are taking? Today we're opening the door to one of humanity's oldest mysteries, dreams. And as always, we're asking the question, are you psychic too? Hey, star people. Welcome back to Are You Psychic Too, the show where we explore intuition, consciousness, spirituality, and the mysteries of being human beings. I'm your host, Cliff, but I could not do this alone. Jenny, Kelsey, what's up?
She's muted.
She's muted.
Hey, dreamers. I'm Jenny. Hey, I'm Kelsey.
All right, folks. It started off with a bang already. All right. Well, we are going to go into a new subject for this episode, one that we will come back to many times, I suspect, over the course of this many months or years, because it's a very big subject, dreams. So we figured we'd start at the beginning. Why do we dream? Okay, so dreams have fascinated people for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations believed they carried messages from the gods. Philosophers debated their meanings. Psychologists searched for patterns. And neuroscientists continue exploring what happens while we sleep. And yet today, we still don't fully understand why we dream. Some see dreams as the brain processing memories and emotions. Others believe they're a symbolic conversation with our unconscious mind. Whatever your perspective, almost everyone has experienced a dream that felt deeply meaningful. So today we want to explore dreams with curiosity, not certainty. So guys, let's start at the beginning. Why do you think we dream?
I think we dream because it's one of the easiest ways for our spirit guides and higher consciousness to communicate with us. During sleep, our logical minds kind of calms down, making it so much easier for us to receive messages, guidance, and healing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Maybe dreams reveal what we don't yet know about ourselves.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. I mean, what's the point of the dream? It's trying to teach us something new that we don't know about ourselves.
Yeah, neuroscience is persuasive that dreaming involves memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and integrating experiences. The sleeping brain is undeniably doing work. The question is whether that's all it is.
Exactly. So do you guys think that dreams are simply the brain processing information, or are they serving a deeper hidden purpose?
I mean, I think it can be both. I think dreams can be a space for healing, guidance, personal growth, and receiving insight that isn't always accessible in our waking state. But I also think our brains use sleep to process emotions, memories, and experiences from the day. I don't see those two ideas as conflicting, but I do think our dreams can serve both purposes at the same time, helping the brain organize information and also creating an opportunity for deeper wisdom and guidance to come through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every night, nearly every one of us enters a world that's emotional, symbolic, and often completely illogical. For thousands of years, people have wondered the same question: why do we dream? It's fun to ponder. Are dreams just telling us what's happened in the last couple days, or like a review? Or is it showing us something deeper about ourselves in the symbols?
Yeah, kind of like maybe like when you talk about that, I'm thinking about like if something happened throughout the day and we reacted poorly or responded poorly, like your dreams are going to show you why.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Like if you have one of those conversations where you think like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. Oftentimes that thing will come up in your dream too. You'll be like
Yeah.
dreaming about that conversation, like, and reliving it in the way that you should have done it in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dreams are mirrors. They show us who we are, but often show us the parts that we don't quite see in the waking time yet.
Yeah. Now, there isn't one universally accepted way to interpret dreams. Carl Jung believed that dreams communicate through symbols that reveal unconscious parts of ourselves and can help us become more whole. Other dream interpreters also focus on symbolism, but may place more emphasis on dreams reflecting our current beliefs, emotional patterns, and unconscious habits. Different methods may disagree about the meaning of particular symbols, but many share the belief that dreams deserve to be listened to. Absolutely. So, guys, what do you think makes dreams such a unique language compared to our waking thoughts?
I love that you mentioned Carl Jung.
I knew you would.
One of my favorite quotes of all time, actually, is Carl Jung, and he's quoted saying, "He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens." So if we take that quote out of its literal context and say, well, yes, we dream, but the next part kind of sounds like once we look inside the dream, it helps us awaken. So
yeah, that's a great quote. I didn't know that was his quote.
Yes, I love that quote.
Yeah.
Jungian theory is about dreams is that dreams are spontaneous expressions of the unconscious that seek to compensate, balance, and guide the conscious attitude toward greater wholeness.
Mm.
So he didn't believe dreams were nonsensical. Jung believed dreams are not deliberately created by the ego, and that's why they often don't make sense to us. They emerge autonomously from the unconscious, which is the area of the unknown, presenting material from the conscious mind either overlooks or can't see yet. And they never give information we already know or have integrated. But I believe dreams are language of the soul. If the soul or psyche is the deepest expression of who we are, then dreams may be one of its primary ways of communicating with us. And they don't speak in words, usually. They speak in symbols, emotions, and stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think that dreams are so unique in the way that they communicate through symbols instead of words. Like while some dream symbols are deeply personal to, we all have different meanings for certain symbols. Mm-hmm. But I also think that some symbols can carry a universal meaning. So this is why I can interpret dreams for people who are in different countries in different parts of the world. Because I think some symbols are universal and helps us understand them in a deeper way without even having to know them. And I think that's one of the things that I find most fascinating about the dream work is that these symbols can carry the same meaning.
Mm-hmm. Give me an example of a couple of symbols that, because I know that, if you're Irish, for example, and you dream about Guinness, it means something very different than if you're American and you dream about Guinness. I mean, give me some examples of things that are universal where it's like going to be generally the same meaning.
Yeah. Well, I like looking at spiritual gifts, for example, in a dream. It's like if I see a moon in someone's dream, I know that they're psychic. Or if I see light or silver, like I know those are specific symbols for your spiritual gift of being a psychic.
And yet, if that person is a silver miner, wouldn't that be a different interpretation?
Yeah, that brings up an important point you have to take into consideration. Like if somebody owns a red Honda Civic and they dream about a red Honda Civic, it may mean something different than if you just took apart the dream symbol, car, red, Honda,
Yeah. Well, I think that's so in dreams, they typically show them the gifts specifically more than one time. So like if I see the same gift symbol show up in different ways more than once, then it kind of just, for me, it solidifies that meaning,
Yeah, that just goes into the whole conversation about how interpretation of dreams is a wonderfully huge, expansive, amazing world that never ends.
Layered.
and many, many more episodes of this.
Right. And I think it's important to say that when interpreting or analyzing a dream, the dreamer will know when it clicks. It's like something goes off and they go, oh, that's it. That resonates. And that's how people know if it's the correct interpretation.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when and Kelsey, you talked about gifts in a dream. I think that's just one angle on dream interpretation.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like Jung would never talk about what gifts you have in a dream. It would be, Jenny, help me out here. Well,
Jung would say, you've always had them. Why aren't you using them? He assumed that there's so much to be discovered in the unconscious, and dreams are an avenue toward that. And he didn't limit any mysticism or any kind of gifts possible. But, he would maybe say that the moon was a symbol of what we don't know because it comes out in the dark.
Or emotions.
Or the feminine.
Or feminine. Yeah,
Oh.
the feminine.
Right. Or the feminine, or intuitive, or all of those things that are symbolized by the moon.
Well,
but to me, the moon is really personal. So, well,
right.
I love those things. So
Yeah,
that's
we're getting
We're
getting a little
track.
We're getting a little off track from why we dream. We're getting more into interpretation, which will be another episode probably coming up very soon. But let's get back to why we dream. So, guys, why have dreams fascinated humanity for thousands of years?
I believe because they belong in the unknown, and people like to figure things out, and they're coming from the person's own system or psyche. Because they're not in logical language, which is limited, they invite us to explore that unknown. And the mystery captivates us. I think it always has. And seekers of true understanding of the mystery, in my opinion, come closer to source or self, truth, and their purpose. And people
should
know that.
I absolutely. It's like, stay curious,
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess, my fascination started when I was pretty young. I've always had very vivid and emotional dreams. I've woken up feeling joy, sadness, fear, love, all of it. And those experiences made me wonder, like, why do dreams have such a powerful effect on us? And why can something that isn't physically happening feel so real?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. It's because dreams are one of the few experiences that everyone has, but no one can fully explain. So it's very mysterious. It's almost like a picture has 1,000 words. Dreams have 5,000 words.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
They evolve. Yes.
And we all love a good puzzle as human beings. I mean, always trying to figure things out. Always pattern recognition is built into us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
All right. So let's talk about dreams being literal or symbolic. One of the biggest questions people ask all the time is, did my dream actually mean what I think it meant? Most people who study dreams agree that dreams often speak in symbols rather than literal events, as we've said. For example, a house might represent your inner world. A child could symbolize something new developing within you. And a vehicle might reflect on how you're moving through life. But those are not fixed definitions, regardless of what dream teachers tell you. The same symbol can mean something completely different depending on the dreamer, the surrounding symbols, and what's happening in their life, and even what country they're from. Dreams communicate through metaphor, inviting us to explore what those images might mean in the context of our own lives. So, guys, do you think dreams speak in symbols instead of simply telling us things directly?
Yes. I think part of the reason that they're symbols is because symbols are usually universal.
Yeah.
And I think symbols are the natural language of the unconscious. Words are very precise. They define and limit the meaning.
Yeah.
Symbols, on the other hand, can hold many layers of meaning at once. A single image, like an ocean, a house, or a child, they all can evoke emotions, memories, instincts, and truths that are difficult to capture with language alone. I do think one of the biggest mistakes, though, that people make is assuming that dream symbols have universal meanings.
Yeah.
So I might have to disagree a little bit with Kelsey here. While some archetypes appear across cultures, the dreamer's own associations usually matter most. And archetypes meaning archetypal energies, like a grandmother, usually mean like nurture, something like that.
I think symbols allow us to experience the message rather than simply be told what it is. So like I think about waking life, like how often does someone give you an answer to a problem only for you to just ignore it and then later be told, I told you so. So I think that's why the dreams, I think most of us, we ignore the good advice that we get from people during our waking life. So like, why would dreams show up the same way?
No, I think you're absolutely right, Kelsey. I think that, I mean, it's. I know I'm jumping ahead to a question that we were going to ask later, but I think that our dreams don't tell us exactly what to do because that's not furthering our growth. I mean, we're here to learn. Earth is a learning experience, and like you said, Jenny, language is a very specific thing, whereas symbols are much more understandable by wide groups of people, whether they speak the same language or not.
Mm-hmm. And they get us into our right brain function, right? The right hemisphere, which is the artistic, the creative, the imaginative, the intuitive. And that gets us into a sort of liminal space where we can maybe explore spiritual gifts, you know?
Yeah.
I think dreams have a way of bypassing our defenses too. So instead of saying, you're unhappy at work, a dream might show you running through a collapsing building, carrying an unbearable weight, or watching your body become exhausted. Mm-hmm. And I think those emotions or those images evoke emotions and reveal not just what's happening, but how it's affecting your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think that dreams oftentimes are very emotional, and emotion carries so much more weight than just a written word.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We mentioned symbols, but what happens in the dream is the symbol and how we are affected by it. What does it mean? Why does it matter? Right? An elephant in a dream for me would be it's my favorite animal. So I would have reverence for it and think of Mother Earth and all of those things. Well, someone else that's afraid of elephants because of their size will have a totally different emotional reaction. So
Absolutely.
I don't want to leave out the feelings part. It's how we feel about a dream within the dream. And sometimes the feeling tells you more than the symbol.
Dreams feel, and that's why, and I know I'm getting ahead to another episode too on dream interpretation, but oftentimes a dream interpreter will ask the dreamer, how did you feel when you woke up from the dream?
Right.
Because the emotion that the dream evokes is often a huge part of what the dream is trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. So have you guys ever had a dream that made sense maybe weeks, months, or even years later?
I have, for sure. And I believe they evolve. I believe they're timeless. So while we may be thinking it means one thing 1 week, and then years later we'll say, oh my gosh, that dream is brilliant. Oh my gosh, the dream maker is brilliant. Because the genius that comes through is that they are timeless. And it's still going to reveal parts of who you are that you just aren't ready for yet or haven't seen.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, it's like it reveals about your readiness to understand the message in the dream too. It's like you may have a dream, like I had a reoccurring dream for many years, and I wasn't really, I wrote dreams down at that point, but I wasn't into interpreting them then. But looking back on it, it's like, okay, well, I just wasn't ready to understand what that dream was telling me.
Right.
But years later, it's like, okay, I get it.
I got it now. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I was thinking about dreams in a very different way to this question. I was thinking more of like prophetic dreams. So like which has kind of been more recent, and it's because we're working on it. I'm sorry, I'm jumping into a different topic.
No,
but...
that's this episode, I think.
I know, but like I think the more that I worked with them, I remember like would have dreams where I'm like, oh my God, something crazy is happening, and like the way that I was taught to interpret dreams, it's kind of like what's happening right now. But these dreams, I think, were revealing what was going to happen. Like it was coming up and it was going to happen soon.
Right.
And so now I look back and I'm like, well, crap. I should have. I mean, I appreciate it because I'm like, well, I did prepare myself. I knew something bad was going to happen.
Do you think that, would there be any point to, that made me think of another question. Would there be any point to dreams telling you things that have already happened? Like historical reference things? Or is there no point to that at all?
What they will do is compensate for how you reacted to something that's happened. And maybe it will show you a review of that occurrence and how your psyche is saying it wished it would have handled that issue instead, or that you had it within you to handle it differently.
Or maybe you're holding on to something from that thing.
Absolutely, which just goes back to the compensation part. It's like it's going to compensate for you in order to level you out. I think dreams are so healthy because I think we do a lot of work in the sleep time. Yeah.
Oh my Lord, yes, we do.
All right. Well, I've got a controversial question for you now. You guys are going to love this one. Are dream dictionaries a good place to start, or can they sometimes send people in the wrong direction?
Well, I started there back in the dark ages before internet was around.
Me too. I probably had, at one point, I probably had a dozen or 15 different dream dictionaries.
I remember in 7th grade looking online for dream dictionaries in the 7th grade for like vampires and stuff. So I've definitely started there too.
When I had books.
But my point, I think, with the question is that, and I know it from my experience with all the 15 or so dictionaries that I had, oftentimes they would have very different meanings for the same symbols.
Right.
Yeah.
They're tools. As long as the dreamer knows it's not written for any specific person or psyche, but it's just one author's, opinion of interpretation for the collective.
That's my point, though. It's like if you're new to dreams and you think, oh, I had this dream about a rhinoceros, and you look in a dream book and it says rhinoceros means that you're hard-headed or whatever, then they'll start thinking, oh my goodness, I'm hard-headed, when maybe it had nothing to do with that at all. Maybe you have to look at the whole context of the dream and see maybe it had some other meaning. So could the dream dictionary be leading them in the wrong direction?
I was thinking the opposite. I'm like, most people, I feel like, deflect or like they avoid their own issues, right? Like the majority of people, I think, will look at a dream dictionary and be like, oh my God, this is so this person in my life, versus referring it back to them and how that they're affecting, right? And so I think it can be helpful in the very beginning. The deeper you get into dreams, you'll kind of start to build up your own dream dictionary.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. There are certain symbols that, like, once again, we went back to that, the global symbols that everybody, no matter what culture you're from, can kind of agree on, like fire and sun and things like that. I think you kind of build up your own little thing. And plus, as you go along, if you're, once again, interpreting your own dreams, sorry, I'm really going off topic here, but as you're interpreting your dreams, you kind of start adapting to what your dreams start adapting to what you take the meaning for certain symbols. Does that make
listen
sense?
to you. And if you pay attention to the dreams, the dream maker will pay attention back to you. Right.
So your dreams will actually modify into dreams that are reflecting what you believe the symbols mean. Because the dreams, the dream master or whoever it is giving us our dreams, are
the dream weavers.
Yes.
That's how I see them.
Dream weaver.
They want to, we got to pay a royalty on that. I think.
Okay.
I think that the dreams want us to understand them. So they're going to bend over backwards for us too. Okay. So let's talk about how dreams help us grow. Okay. So whether you see dreams as psychological, spiritual, or somewhere in between, many people discover reoccurring themes that point towards areas of life needing attention. Sometimes dreams reveal fears that we didn't realize we had. Sometimes they highlight strengths we've overlooked. Sometimes they simply ask us to pay closer attention. Instead of predicting the future, perhaps dreams are helping shape the person that we're becoming now. So, guys, have dreams helped you recognize patterns or beliefs in yourselves that you weren't aware of?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is one of the greatest gifts dreams have to offer, is that they can reveal those patterns, those beliefs, and emotional wounds that we're not consciously aware of.
Mhm.
And that's where some of the deepest healing can begin. Like, I remember having a dream once where someone very significant to me kept ignoring my concerns in this dream and left me to deal with the huge mess on my own. And at first, I kind of thought like, okay, the dreams was just showing me about this person and what's happening in my life. But as I interpreted it and went deeper, I realized that the deeper message wasn't about them. It was about me. And the underlying belief that I had was I don't feel supported, you know?
Right.
And so
Right.
that realization really opened the door for much deeper healing.
Yeah, there are some school of thoughts that say that every character in the dream is an aspect of you.
Yeah, I completely go with that school of thought as well. I think every part of a dream is representing some aspect of the dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
The characters in your dreams can carry aspects that they actually do have, but we have to look at it like, how is this? Like, I think the bigger message is like, how is this affecting me, or what's my belief behind this, you know? So like, if someone's being mean and being rude to you in a dream, it's not necessarily saying like you're rude or you're mean or you're doing this to other people, but it can be like, I let people do this to me, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's still representing an aspect of you and how you deal with rudeness in general.
It's or what you've experienced. It's context relative.
Okay, so that opens up the next obvious question is, can working with dreams genuinely change someone's waking life?
I think that the three of us work with dreams because of this very question that seems obvious to us. I think they absolutely can change life. Maybe every dream is a conversation between the human self and the soul. So while the personality sleeps and that conscious mind is off, the soul keeps speaking through symbols, through archetypes, and through stories that we've either lived or in a way to show us what's going on. So I believe dream work isn't about decoding a secret message. It's about remembering a language we've always known but forgotten how to hear.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, our entire lives are about remembering who we really are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely changed my life. When I took my dreams much more seriously, that's when I really started to heal. And now I don't feel like I'm so controlled by my old wounding. I mean, to be real and honest, the healing never stops.
No.
But if I hadn't done this work, I probably would be in a much different place. Probably wouldn't be a psychic. I might be in a job that I didn't love, and I just was overran by fear.
Yes,
yeah,
I believe that.
I absolutely think that working with dreams can change people's lives. I mean,
it's a doorway.
That's like you said, Jane. That's why the three of us do that, because we've seen it in ourselves and we've seen it with people that we work with, and it's nothing better than having someone give you a dream and then tell them all these things, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's right! Oh my God!" You know, they're like when realization
that's the
hits.
best. Yeah, the insight is just the moment of insight to me is the most exciting moment of any client interaction.
All right. So even after centuries of studies, dreams remain one of the great mysteries of human experience. Some dreams seem obviously connected to our daily lives. Others feel profoundly spiritual. Some appear to anticipate future events. Others seem impossible to understand, at least at first. Perhaps part of the beauty of dreams is that they continue inviting us to ask questions. So, guys, if someone has never paid attention to their dreams before, what simple advice can you give them to begin?
I would say start. paying attention. Don't dismiss it. Don't
How-
dismiss
how-
this amazing thing. Because
How should they pay attention?
well, wake up and try to remember. Of course, we're going to say write it down. You know,
Yes.
but if you don't have time because you've got to go to work when this is the real work, then press the record button on your phone and just talk it into there. So just say that you have a recording of it. Or what I tell clients is, listen, just make a bullet point list, house, car, because then your memory will actually remember more of it later. And
Yeah.
you might have a little, have one of those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I dreamt about that last night. And that's because you're listening and paying attention. And, if Einstein can come up with the theory of relativity from a dream, then I'm thinking dreams are trying to tell us good stuff.
Yeah. I think if someone has never paid attention to their dreams before, I would tell them to be curious about it. Just enter it with a lot of curiosity and just wonder.
And it's always fun to see people who are curious about their dreams but don't know what to do, don't know how to start. Like, basic things like write down your dreams. And something as simple as like when you first wake up, don't move. Don't even open your eyes if you can avoid it. Just lie still and just ask yourself, what did I just dream? And
that's a good
write down point, like Jenni said, write down bullet points, because more things will come back to you after you go through it.
It's those moments like right before you fall asleep and you're still kind of there, but you're drifting off into that dream space. That's where I got my kids' names. It's like that in-between state.
The liminal space.
The liminal space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I heard their names.
People always say, oh, I've gone 2 nights without sleep. And they're drained or they're loopy or whatever. And I kind of think that dreaming is why we need sleep. I think that we actually miss the dreaming state, being in that liminal space where we can just be and not have to think about everything.
Interesting. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of the liminal space. It's kind of like, that's where I get some of my best dreams. Mm-hmm. And it's like, am I asleep? Am I awake? It's that kind of space.
It's quiet.
Yeah.
Everything's quiet. Yeah.
All right. Well, dreams remind us that even while we're asleep, our minds, and perhaps something even deeper, continue working. Whether you see dreams as psychology, spiritual guidance, or simply another fascinating part of being human, they invite us to become a little more curious about ourselves. So if you've enjoyed today's conversation, please follow the podcast, leave us a review, share this episode with someone who's ever woken up wondering, what on earth was that about? And you can also visit us at areyouPsychic2.com. We have all the links in the show notes. You can visit Jenni and Kelsey's websites and book appointments with both of them. And we have the Woo Files, our short dives into paranormal and spiritual topics there as well. We'll be back next week with a new episode, probably not on dreams, but believe me, we are coming back to dreams many times again. So until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and maybe do something nice for someone today. I'm Cliff.
I'm Jenni. Sweet dreams.
Bye-bye.
Bye.